Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest issue of Retro Gamer Magazine, where as you can see we've gone SimCity mental. John, our designer, has basically created this absolute masterpiece, and I personally think it's probably one of the best covers that we've ever had. And it just looks, he worked incredibly hard on it. If you look at all the little detail in all these buildings and stuff, and yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. So, moving on, let's take a look inside the actual issue. So, as you can tell, we're covering SimCity, and the reason for that is because obviously the latest game has just come out. There's been a fair amount of controversy covering it, but we've also been able to speak to Will Wright, the creator of the franchise, which is quite rare, and luckily one of our freelancers, Adam Barnes, had basically been talking to him, and he'd managed to convince him into elaborating more on the information he'd originally given out, and we ended up with a really cool feature. So as you can see here, this is the sad news about LucasArts. They were shut down by Disney earlier on in the month, and we've done a little history piece on them. Looked at some of the best games, spoken to developers. We've looked at all the games that they actually made themselves, and we've got comments from the forum. In the column, we've also got a nice little tribute piece to Kenji Eno, the eccentric Japanese games developer who sadly passed away recently. Paul Davies is talking about why you shouldn't write off video games when you first start playing them, and you should basically persevere with them because they often get far better. Okay then, this is a look at back to the 80s and back to the 90s, our usual popular features, which we've been running since, well, for pretty much near the beginning of the magazine's life now. Okay then, so this is obviously our main cover feature, SimCity. We were fortunate enough to speak to various developers about what they love about the franchise. We looked at for all the actual games in the main series, and this is quite cool. Basically, we got in touch with a number of readers via Twitter, Facebook, the forum, and other social media, and they all designed their own cities. So basically, everybody who's featured here gets a free copy of the new game. So well done, guys. Some of them, particularly Pete Forson, clearly put a huge amount of work into what he done, and this is only a tiny section. He actually did one on SimCity 2000 and also one on SimCity 4, I think, and it was just stunning. So well done, guys. It looks really cool. We've obviously spoken to Will Wright as well, and it's just a really great little feature. We also, to tie in with everything that's been happening with SimCity, we also look at some of the other biggest launch disasters which have happened over the years, both hardware launches and software launches. This is an interview with Stuart Ross, who's best known for working on Body Harvest, and he's done a lot of the music in most of the Grand Theft Auto games, particularly the earlier ones like Vice City and the original. Okay then, originally we were planning to get this tie-in with the Blu-ray release of Indiana Jones, which obviously happened in Christmas, but plans being what they are, it was taking longer and longer for all the interviews to come back. So in the end, we finally ran with it, and it kind of works in a way because it ties in with LucasArts, the sad demise of LucasArts. But we've basically got a cool triple bill, and it includes the original Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom arcade game. I look at the excellent SNES game, which, as you can see from the images, used the same engine as the Super Star Wars games, and Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, which is probably the first and best 3D Indiana Jones adventure that ever came out. This is a look at Interceptor Software, who basically worked on a lot of 8-bit and 16-bit stuff, and I found this particularly interesting because they actually set up lots of different software labels like players, and you know, back in the day I just assumed they were all different companies, but it was the same, all the same company. So this is a really interesting read. Usual great work by Graham Mason, who does quite a lot of our archives pieces. This is a look at the Mega Drive platform game Marvel Land, which is also known as Talmit's Big Adventure. And this is a piece on the Mega CD, and as somebody's kindly pointed out, we actually mention here the original Mega CD system sat alongside the Mega Drive, which is obviously completely wrong. And I wrote that, and despite the fact that the original Mega CD is there, I still messed up. So congrats on the person who wrote in today and pointed that out to us. But regardless of that little fact, hopefully it won't spoil your enjoyment of the feature, which basically looks at some of the best Mega CD games that are available. And it's a really great underrated system. It often gets criticised for basically having, well, you know, a lot of FMV games, a lot of ports, but if you dig deep, there's some real gems on the system. Okay, then this is our new look ultimate guide. We've kept a few things the same, but we've tried to style it up more around the actual game, so it doesn't look as ugly as previous ones would have looked like. So we were lucky enough to basically speak to the guy who made the fantastic Commodore 64 version. We've looked at all the different conversions of the game. Funnily enough, I've been actually playing the Master System one because it turned out that I actually had it on the Master System and I didn't even realise. So I've been playing that the last few days. Here's a look at other classic Taito platformers. And this is cool. You'll see a lot more of these in Retro Gamer over the coming months. Nice infographic-y piece looking at the various aspects of the island, the key bosses, the main levels, and here's some more cameos that Tiki the Kiwi starred in. So that's our new look for the Ultimate Guide. This has also changed as well. The classic game, we've now focused on the classic moments tied into a particular game. So there's a little bit about it. This one is obviously F-Zero, to tie in with the fact that it's currently available on Wii U for 30p, which is ridiculous good value. And this is our list feature for the month, and this is the 30th century shoot 'em ups. So what I wanted to do here, because this is something I've put together, is I wanted to concentrate on good shooters, obviously, because you've got to have good shooters, but I was keen to try and put in as many innovative examples of the genre as possible. And there are a few, and there's obviously quite a few that we would have missed because space is an issue. And we were also lucky enough to speak to developers like Steve Crow and Jeff Minter about their favourite shoot 'em ups and creating shoot 'em ups in genre. I said genre then instead of general. So as you can see, there's a few well-known ones, and hopefully a few that you might not have played. But the whole idea behind this feature is that, you know, these are all great games, regardless of. So if you've only dabbled in the genre in the past, these are the sort of things you should be playing immediately. This is Adventure. It's a really iconic Atari 2600 game, or VCS game if you're from the US. And we were lucky enough to ask Warren Robin a few questions about it. And he kindly turned around some fantastic answers for us. Again, great design from John. I just really like the features where you put in key aspects of the game and he's just able to make an article into it. Okay then, hardware feature this month is looking at 70s home computers. Rory Milne's done a great job with this, basically looking at all the just some of the iconic home computers that were around at the time, how it all started off, some of the more important games that you'd associate with those systems, and it's pretty dense, but he's managed to get loads and loads of fascinating facts in there. Future classic for this month is Ico. We've obviously covered Shadow of the Colossus in a previous issue, so it's only fair to do Ico. It's still a fantastic game. It's one of those games that it doesn't need cutscenes to convey an excellent story, and if you've never played it, play it because you really are missing out. Okay then, Chase HQ is 25 years old. Martin Carroll, we've not been able to speak to the Japanese developers, but he's done the next best thing, and he's spoken to various people who converted the home systems, ranging from the Commodore 64 version, which was terrible for want of a better word, and the superior versions like on the Spectrum and Amstrad. Again, we've got every single conversion that appeared. We'll aim to be doing more of these in the future as and when it's suitable, and we also look at every game in the series. And we finish off, our last big feature is an interview with Chris Holzbeck, who is well known for his sterling musical work on the Commodore 64, Amiga, and most recently he did Great Giana Sisters, or Giana Sisters Twisted in Time, I do believe it's called. Yeah, Twisted Dreams, sorry. So this basically looks at how he got into the industry, how he fell in love with the Commodore 64 and creating music in general. Moving on, we've got a retro revival on the Awesome Clacks. This is our review of SimCity. Yeah, there are problems with it. If they fix some of those problems, there's potentially a very good game underneath. And here's obviously a history of SimCity as we've started doing recently. Luigi's Mansion 2, great 3DS game and a worthy follow-up to the awesome GameCube game. And that's all our review section this month. And then a look at the brilliant Goat Up 2. Now, sadly, this is apparently going to be Jeff Minter's last OS game because it's just not working out for him. So he's moving over to the Vita. So if you do have access to iOS, please download this. It's only $2.99 and it's absolutely brilliant fun. And this is really cool as well. If you have a Vita, this is called Life of Pixel. And it's kind of like Super Meat Boy, but it's set in all different game worlds. So you can play in graphic style like an Atari 2600, a Commodore 64, an Amstrad CPC. It's just really, really, really cool. Homebrew section. We are, I know I've said this a few times now, but we are planning to basically change this around a bit. So hopefully we'll try and get that sorted in the next few months. The letters page, some of the covers that got away. I know people always like to see that. A request for more last gen coverage. And next month, so we're obviously planning an absolutely huge feature on LucasArts to celebrate their sad passing. We've got a piece on the history of Star Fox, makings of Crusader No Remorse, something which a lot of people on various forums have been asking us for. There's a history of Microsoft looking at their contribution to gaming over the years. And we've got a who's who of all the Doctor Who games that have ever been made. So there's some good stuff to look out for. And we finish off with the Super Spy. So there you go. That's the latest issue of Retro Gamer magazine. It's available now if you have a sub-issue. Otherwise, you can expect to buy it from this coming Thursday. This is Darren Jones from Retro Gamer magazine, and I'll be back with more videos very, very soon, guys. Take care.